What's going on? Move the Mouse here, back in City Skylines, the town of Springdale, with our Let's Play Season 4, Episode number 18. And of course, as soon as I start recording, we have a fire breaking out over here in the woods. Of course, hopefully that won't spread. Let's ignore that for now. In the last episode, we did some bus lines, and I started to prep. I'm going to pause here. I started to prep for metro routes, and again, we're going to be focusing in on this section of the city right here. So if we bring up our metro routes, you'll notice that the only tunnels I kept were the 4 stations surrounding Central Park. I definitely want to deliver people here. We've got bus stops on either side of the street right there. We've got a bus stop fairly close across the street and one right next to the metro station on this side. We've got one over here next to a bus stop in this park entrance. And then we've got one up here. So that's kind of the basis for where I want to get people into the interior of the city. But now what I want to do is I want to figure out some routes to kind of connect these in. I was thinking we could do one up here for the university. That could kind of be the end of our line. Although, come to think of it, we do want to hook one in over here near the stadium as well. So maybe that hooks to here to come down, or we could kind of pivot off of there and come down either side. There's a couple things we could do. So I want to get away from the loops, kind of carry traffic down here to the park, and then definitely want to find a spot over here where we can get people into the bus stations. I could do that, or we could go right across the street. It'll generate some pedestrian traffic, but I feel like it seems a little bit more direct, especially considering the lines that we have are already on that side of the road. Oh, I did leave this one too. This one you can see actually is really popular right now. This one connects into the airport in the industrial area. So we're going to revamp this half, or I should say this section of the city later on. We're again just really focused on what's happening up here. We want to get some different stops in here. Obviously, we've got one at the university. We've got one at the stadium. I think it makes sense to put one here. Since we've got a bus route right there, I think we're going to do that. So let's go right on this corner. I have to move out a couple businesses to kind of shuffle these around, but that is okay. Then down here, we'll come in and use kind of this as a hub station as well. That'll be right next to our bus stops. Now, where do we put some along this street? I honestly think I might end up doing a loop around here because people will walk a block that way to get to a station, or a block that way, or we have the different bus routes that take people up and down. They don't have a problem walking a block, but no, maybe I'll get away from that. We'll keep the lines coded kind of the same way, but let's figure out this outer loop first. So I definitely want one here at the amusement park. Do we want to revamp our fences around that, maybe? Let's do that. We'll delete this piece of the fence. We'll dump them out right there next to the amusement park entrance, right across the street from the bus stop. And then let's put one kind of halfway in between, at least. Probably 2, actually. Look at that. There's a lot of space there. And I do want to start zoning this out. We've got some demand. Let me do a little sidetrack. Let me take care of that real quick. We'll make this all office park. We could use it. So this side is actually not zonable because it's fenced off by the amusement park there. Let's round all that out. And then I think we won't zone here. So let's go to our selection tool. Let's dezone this piece. Just so that people aren't stopping right here on this side of the highway exit, if you will. So that'll get us a little bit of coverage for some of our demand there. Let's see how our water coverage is. It looks good. Looks like we completely covered the amusement park and that surrounding area. We'll jump back into our metro stations and find a couple more spots here. So since this is going to be pretty well packed, and since that isn't zoned, let's do that. Then let's do one kind of in the middle of this block. Maybe that is a high school. Not a bad spot for a stop. Let's do that. So that's pretty good, and then we can hook this around and get it hopefully back into here. I have a lot of good coverage down this area, but maybe we can rethink that as we'll bring this tunnel up when we redo the bottom half of the map and have it stop here before coming up maybe into the bus line, the bus station there. So let's get these tunnels hooked up. Straightforward enough along here. Do we need another one? Need another one in there? No, I guess not. We have bus coverage. We can always... It's easy to add a stop in later. It's not so easy to completely revamp the route, which is what we're doing here. So let's get that connected. And then we'll hook this up into the university stop. So we'll hook it in like that, and then we can kind of use that as the ends of the line. So we won't loop it all the way around, but we will have a double connection here at Kangamoo U, down here at the bus stop. So even though the tunnel itself will be a loop, the lines will not be. We can do that, service this western part of the city, and then we'll come back, kind of do the same thing. Again, we'll hook it up like a loop, but it won't actually be a loop. Let's see. Let's get this connected back in. Do the same thing down here. Now, before I forget, actually, something I did want to do is potentially smooth out the ground a little bit over here, because there were a couple spots right over here that it wouldn't let me smooth out because of the tunnels here. Let's see if I delete these tunnels between the station. If it'll let me smooth the park out, and then if I build underneath it, if it's going to cause that mounding again. I don't think that it will, but there is one way to find out. So let's go into landscaping real quick and fix that before I forget. We'll smooth it out. And it was specifically over here on this side that was bothering me a lot. If it'll let me do that. Soften up this bit of terrain over here. You just lower it? Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to pick that spot. So it's definitely mounding it up over there by the fence. Is it the fence that's causing that? Might be. Let's see. I kind of actually like what that's doing to the trail there, kind of giving it some definition. A little bit of a drop off there, but I think I'm going to smooth it out just a little bit. But unfortunately, it's not doing quite what I wanted it to. So let's do that. We'll go back into our fences. Fix our fence. If it'll let me. It may not like this now. There we go. Okay, so we fixed that. Let's go fix where we broke. Where did we break? Over here. Since we got the tool out. Ugh, I hate that. Does not like to do right up to the metro station for some reason. Some configurations. So we'll come one square out on either side. Hook up like Will it let me hook up where I want to? Good enough. Can always come back and fix that. But that honestly is not that bad. It incorporates that tree. As if that's part of the city property, then obviously everything in behind it is part of the amusement park. So back into our tunnels. This half of the tunnel is done. Let's figure out how to hook this second part all up. So, because I know kind of what I'm going to do with the lines here. Where do we want to go with the lines on this side of town? So we might come in over here and hook this outer ring, and bring it back in. That'll be kind of a stage 2, so like going from here along this shoreline, bringing people back up into this, again, this central hub. So, we've got the 2 stops here on Central Park. That we absolutely want. Where else can we get some stops? So, that's a community school. Won't let us build there. Maybe we could come up here. Let's do this before I forget. Because this might help us kind of logically do our lines here. Let's do that. That's a pretty good start. So it hooking in from down here allows it to branch off and come that way into that station. We'll hook up down here and see if my landscaping even mattered, or if it bulges that terrain up again. Let's see. It does bulge that terrain up a little bit. That's unfortunate. I could go down further with the subway, but I'm okay with it. We'll deal with it. So I kind of want to hook this in. There is a stop over in Kangaroo U. There's not a stop in Deckard or Little Italy, and maybe it would be good to kind of do that. But what if we did something like this, where we'll put one on this corner, then we'll put one, geez, I don't know, maybe even way up there? I want to have room to get the subway cars in. Maybe we have one next to the high school and the elementary. I don't think elementary students ride the subway, or if they do, they shouldn't, without supervision. We could do something like that. We're just trying to get coverage at least every couple blocks. Somebody that's here can walk a block that way, or walk a block that way to get to Metro. That's not too far to ask a sim to walk. So, now we got to come up with coverage up here in the Norbury Park area. Maybe snake that down through Beamer Square. Have that hook up back down here. Because again, what I'm thinking of is kind of a cross-town route over here, coming along across the river and supporting this outer avenue. Hooking that in eventually. So let's do that. Let's get one more line in here. Maybe we should do kind of right in the center of Norbury Park, right across from this little park. Might be nice. That's a school, so let's go across the street from that community school. The problem with my old routes, my old loops, is I was just going around kind of a big residential area, and you want to get people from, say, office to residential to commercial. You want them to travel to their destination, and they don't go to visit other sims. Let's get this one down here on the corner next to this main avenue. And that should be okay for now. We'll take a look at how they're all kind of ramping up. So that's going to be a line. Do something like that. This part of the pipe may get a little congested, so we may have to come up with like a second metro stop over there, second line to plug everything into. But we'll see how bad it gets backed up. But we kind of want that bus station to be kind of our transport hub for the area. We do something like that. And again, yes, this is a loop tunnel, but we're not going to do a looped line. So let me show you what I was thinking there. So this route will start one at the university. Stop here. To our park stops. Bring everybody back down to this side before we reverse back. Come back up the university. And we can do the same thing in reverse along this other side of the loop. So we'll create a new line. We'll start there. Stop at the stadium and science center. Stop in our office park. New office park. Stop here at the amusement park, and then we'll just loop it back around again. And then I think what I want to do is kind of color code these with the bus lines, so it's easy to keep up with. But we can do that in a moment. Let's do the same thing here. So we're originating from... Yeah, we are originating from here. And then that's going to come out this way. The Central Park East line. Get people to the park. Get them up to Deckard, get them up to Little Italy and back. Those of you that have been watching the channel for a while, this is a new experiment for me. Because I'm usually perfectly content doing massive loops. Which do help move a lot of people around, but it's not necessarily the most efficient. The problem that we're going to have here is, again, we're going to have a lot of congestion around this station and trains waiting for each other. So hopefully that will be okay. We'll do like another one maybe across the street. And support the metro routes for the other half. So basically bring people very close where they can walk across the street to get to the other metro station or into a bus station. That fire. No fire, please. All right. So one more line. Yeah, one more line on this side. See how crazy this station gets. So from there, we probably should have put one down there. We'll rethink that and add it in at some point down the road. But hopefully this will start to address some of our traffic problems. Again, this is just the first half of the city. Maybe even not even half. Zoom out and take a look at it here. So let's go in. Before I forget, I didn't rename these yet, but I will rename these offline because I renamed all the streets. We have First Ave, 2nd Avenue, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. 5th and 6th, there we go. So at some point I'll rename the bus routes based on that. We could rename the lines like Central Park West, Central Park East, Chirpyland Express, University, whatever we might want just to distinguish the names. But in the meantime, let's color coordinate the lines with how the buses are arranged. So we look at this metro line. If we go to metro lines, that helps. Let's see, which one is this? It's this one we can hide and show. So let's make this one red. We're using those primary colors when we can. So that kind of lines up with where the bus stops are. This next one's going to be the yellow line. Right now it's kind of... it jumps back to the bus stops every time. I don't know why. That should be this one here. Nope, we want the purple one. That one. That one's going to be the yellow line. Not quite as yellow as the one I had before. Is it this yellow? Yeah, that looks right. So that's the yellow line. Carries us up that side of the park. This one's going to be the green line. Like. Again, I'm just doing this to make this a little bit easier on myself down the road. Be able to color coordinate these lines. Rename them later. Green bus, green metro. Got the blue bus over here. We are running a metro stop along that. Or is that kind of the dark blue one? So we'll give that a little bit friendlier of a blue. Is it that one? That looks pretty close. So there we go. Why? Well, oh, okay, it's the same fire. Never mind. Let's hit play, see if they put that out. Here comes the helicopters. We've got the bus station really moving people around, which is nice. Now, when I first created these, there was quite a line of buses on this strip towards the end of the last episode, but because all the buses spawn at the same time, this is their point of origin. So you just had all the buses trying to get there and kind of backing things up. A little bit of a slope there, kind of sank into the cement. Let's see, it only supports 30 people, so there's a lot more people waiting for these buses than can get on them at any one time. They can, though, get off the buses and go to the metro station that is right across the street. I'm pretty sure... Please tell me you saw that guy get off the bus riding his bike all the way down the stairs into the metro. I don't think that's very safe. I don't recommend doing that, kids. And certainly recommend a helmet. I don't think he had a helmet on. So the fire is out. Excellent. Our population is around 155 right now. I think if we take a look at city info and statistics, population changes and death rate, yeah, we're on kind of the cusp of another death wave, unfortunately. So that should start to pick up some population again. We've got a bunch of demand for residential and commercial. This is slowly starting to fill out. Let's throw her on 3x speed and see how that goes. We've got to start figuring out some spots over here. So in the next episode, what I'm thinking of doing, because there's a bunch of little projects, I think I want to meet that demand first. So I might at least fill in some of this space, definitely this sliver right here, with some residential, increase some of the commercial capacity as well. That is definitely a pocket that we want to work on. Got this wedge right here that we could start zoning out as well. Let's see what's over here right now. Because those are already commercial spots there. Maybe we can mix in high density residential here before we get down to the houses on the shore. Will that work? I'll tell you what, I'll think about that. I'll come back to that. But we definitely want to start to fill in this space right here. We've got this pocket over here. This is our nature preserve. We've got another pocket up here we could fill in. So there's lots of spaces that we can move people into, as well as down here. This is going to be kind of reserved for the amusement park. Maybe we could even do some like service roads and things like that behind the scenes that you would probably see from the sky above, but wouldn't see, you know, through the thicket of trees that's surrounding the park. They kind of want to hide that off. So we'll come up with some interesting things. There's still lots and lots to do. We'll take a look, actually. Let's look at our traffic now and then see if it helps it out at all once it starts to smooth things out with the increased metro and bus coverage on this half of the city. Right now we're at 71, 72%, holding pretty strong. We've got to address some of these bad intersections, and giving people easier ways to get around in the metro is going to help a lot. Right now, we've kind of fixed this part of the city and made our bus station a really central hub of activity. And right now, again, it doesn't look like the intersection here itself having very many problems. So this is okay, even though there's a ton of foot traffic, a ton of bus traffic. Metro traffic might be the thing we need to watch out for. As you can see, you've got trains lining up in the tunnels. waiting to go. One station has to, or one train has to pull out before the other one can pull in. So that will be a thing to keep an eye on. We don't want to saturate this station any more than we have to at this point. So I think any other buildings, any other metros rather that we bring in, we'll probably do something like this and put it right here on this side of the station so that the two tunnels don't necessarily intertwine, and then we can have the same sort of thing, just as many lines coming this way across the city and covering this half, bringing people to that ultimate destination. So it should help, again, should help get people using other modes of transportation other than their cars, and that will ultimately help out the traffic a lot. But we won't really know for sure until get down there. Until police officer? No. We know who wants to ride the bus. Man, it's a lot of people on that line. We might want to increase, that's the other thing, you can increase the number of buses on any given line, which will increase bus traffic, but also move some more people around. So if we see platforms like this that are just absolutely jammed, we'll keep an eye on that and potentially look to increase the buses on those particular routes. But that is all for now. I think that's a good place to break. We'll slowly but surely make progress. Let's see, are we on 3 times speed? Let's do 1 time speed for a little bit more realistic outro here. See all the hustle and bustle and the daily grind of this downtown area. Parking their sports car on the sidewalk there. I'm gonna give this guy a ticket. So we will we'll keep an eye on the You're Lucky Dog. You're Lucky I Just Ate. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on the buses, the metros, see if we're stacking up any problems. Hopefully we're making things a little bit better for traffic in the long run. Again, we won't really know until we see the other half of the city kind of tied into the same route. So with that out of the way, this Sunday, live stream 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We're doing the same thing. We're doing the Let's Build City Skylines, the weekly build that we've been doing. Hopefully you can make it. This week, we're going to be doing our first charity stream. Last weekend, Apple Buddy and I went to PAX East in Boston, and it's an amazing convention. If you ever get the chance to go there, I highly recommend it. But we spent most of the second day talking to some of the charities that were there, and one of them that really resonated with us was Able Gaming. So I'll leave links in the description down below, but we wanted to devote this Sunday's stream to raising some money for that charity. We think it's a really good cause, and hope that you will join us in supporting them. There's a link actually on my YouTube page, in the Discord, on Twitter, all the different ways you can follow me, get involved with the discussion. We're kind of directing traffic there, but we'll also be doing a little bit of live fundraising hopefully this Sunday. So if you want to donate live and talk about the city, obviously we'd really appreciate if you can make it. If you can't make the stream and you'd still like to contribute, then again, the links are there if you wanted to. And even if you can't contribute, you know, donate what you can if you can. But if you can't contribute, that's totally fine. Share the links, get the word out, let people know about this wonderful organization. So that's what we'll be doing on Sunday. Tune in if you can. Hope to see you there. If you did enjoy this video, likes, comments, shares all help the channel a lot and are greatly appreciated. If you're new here, subscribe, hit the bell to get notifications, join the Discord, follow me on Twitter. Until the next one, this is Move the Mouse, signing off.